Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about the December investment guide. Now if you're looking for the video from yesterday and rather that there was none on this channel, what I have decided to do is transition all of the small 2-minute videos over to my second channel, Master Shiny More. I think it's going to do much better. I kind of already felt like this was a little bit overwhelming and it wasn't doing me very good in the YouTube algorithm on my normal videos. My normal videos were not getting what they usually get. They were kind of struggling, so we went ahead and did that. I think that's going to work out well because people who are interested in that, they can subscribe to that channel and they're not going to be flooded with both videos if people don't want to see one or the other. So I think it's going to work out much better that way, but let's hop on into it. Now I will be completely honest, there was one main focus I wanted for this video: discontinued cases. It seems like the discontinued cases of CSGO have started to pop off a little bit in the past week or so. Now we have gotten the amount of cases unboxed for November, so we're going to go over that, but it's surprising to see how quickly, especially the Broken Fang case is one of the main topics for this video. In the past month, it's done a pretty crazy turnaround from reaching a low of 35 cents to now it's all the way up to 55, almost 60 cents. We're going to be talking about that, looking at how many are opened, and honestly, this case never seemed like it had too much investment potential from the start just because there was so many of them. However, it's starting to look a little bit different. But let's hop on into our graph here. Alright, so we're going to start all the way back in June. Now, I chose June specifically because we're actually going to skip a couple months after it, but I chose June because it was like the last bit of real big hype CSGO had. It was kind of that hype that we had before the big fall off. So June, we're looking at 1.95 million Broken Fang cases and 121,000 Shattered Web cases. Now, this was a total of 23.5 million cases. But you're going to notice that these are going to go down significantly, especially the Broken Fang, when we head over to September. Now this is expected because the Operation Broken Fang case was still relatively new when we're looking at June. It wasn't out for that long at this point. The operation had ended not too long before that, so it's reasonable to expect that number to be slightly inflated. September rolls around, we're looking at 943,000 Broken Fang, 125,000 Shattered Web, and 17 million total cases. October, we've got 1.16 million Broken Fang cases, 112,000 Shattered Web cases, and 21.9 million. Finally, then we come to November, and Broken Fang is up for the second consecutive month here at 1.23 million cases unboxed. Shattered Web is down for the second consecutive month at 81,000 unboxed. And finally, we've got 18.2 million cases unboxed here. Now, this is really interesting because we can see the two discontinued cases taking extremely different paths. Broken Fang is completely, it's obvious to see that it's increasing, the amount of them being unboxed is going up, and then we head on over to Shattered Web and the amount of them being unboxed is going down. Now, there is some things that do play into this. Obviously, the Broken Fang case is at least now still cheaper than the Shattered Web case, and you can expect it to be for at least a fair bit of time. I think this growth is probably going to slow down a fair bit in that 55 to 70 cent range. I can't personally see it getting higher than 70 just because we do know how many of these cases are out there and they are being unboxed extremely quickly. It might not be a bad idea to pick some up. However, I think that we're now going to start seeing a pretty decent amount of them coming back into the market. You got to remember that even though there's 145,000 of these listed on the market, there is still so many more out there listed in people's inventories, or rather holding onto in people's inventories, and they haven't even seen the market. So it's very deceiving to just go by this market number, especially on such a newer case like this. Now, unfortunately, it's not like there's an actual updated amount of cases out there, because that would be really useful to figure out how great of investment every case is, honestly, but we do not really know that. However, judging by these trends though, you can see the amount of Broken Fang cases being opened up keeps on increasing, and the price trend, at least in the past month, has definitely followed that. I mean, just to see how significantly it has gone up. even since like the beginning of riptide, where you can see that dip down in the left hand side of your graph there, and then it kind of stagnated. It went up a little bit, went down, but now we're starting to see some real growth here as we're heading into the holidays. So it's going to be very interesting, in my opinion, to see how many cases of this is opened up for December, because that's going to be the real kicker, is if this is just a one-off thing. I mean, obviously it's still increasing, but we obviously know there's still a ton of these cases out there. So it'll be really interesting to see if it can go past 1.23 million, what it's currently at, and continue on going up. Now, if you know me, I am a huge fan of the shattered web case as well. I think it's going to be very big. I mean, honestly, these trends are looking really good for the discontinued cases. Shattered web case hasn't really been doing too much lately. However, if the broken fang case is starting to go up in price, especially with that snake bite case out there, that could be looking really good for this shattered web case. The shattered web case, now you could say that the shattered web case does not have as desirable of the items inside. I mean, it's got the containment breach, which is definitely nice, but it doesn't come even close to like the print stream and a couple other of the gloves inside, in my opinion. I do like the shattered web case though for its knives. However, those are in the fracture case, same with the broken fang and the snakebite case. So the rare special item obviously isn't playing too big of a factor here. However, I'm really excited to see how this price is going to work, especially for the shattered web case. I mean, looking at this graph, shattered web case has really struggled, and it's not even worth trying to say it hasn't. I will 100% give you that. But we can see the peaks that it had, and that peak was before the fracture case was released. However, in my opinion, that shows the potential this case has. Now, it is extremely interesting to see some other things like this graph of the souvenir packages from Stockholm 2021. Now, these are going to go down in price when all of that Turkish money starts hitting the market. They were able to buy everything for cheaper than everyone everywhere else. Now, that is pretty obvious at this point, but we don't know how many were bought, how many are sitting in inventory, and that's most likely going to lead to a downfall of price and just an extremely high supply. What's really interesting though is the amount that this package, specifically looking at the Mirage here, has jumped up in the past couple days. I mean, we're looking at one that was like 250, 260-ish, and then we see two extremely large jumps all the way up to like that $3.25 range. Now, what's really interesting is it seems like this is starting to kind of pick up all over. As you can see the glove case graph, you can see at the end there, it's starting to go up a little bit. This is the week graph, so there's nothing like super outrageously crazy going on yet, but we're starting to see a lot of cases start to pick up in price, which is extremely good. It makes me extremely happy because this is about the time where something needs to happen or something really bad was going to happen. And it seems like we're opting more for that something really good's going to happen. So that makes me extremely happy. I'm really excited to see how high prices are really going to be going for these items. I mean, there's a lot of items that are still down pretty significantly. I don't get to decide the prices, unfortunately, but that is all I have for today, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.